joined IFSC in 2020 on deputation from SEBI. So I was with SEBI for 15 years, Securities and Exchange Board of India. So before we start with the presentation, I just want to give you a small background. So back in 2018, I was with the Division of Technology and Cybersecurity in SEBI, in the Market Regulations Department. So at that time, we had a whole-time member by the name Madhvi Puri Butch, who subsequently became the chairman of SEBI. So she said that, look, we have to do something in the area of fintech. So at that time, in 2018, the current chairman of IFSC, Mr. K. Rajaraman, was additional secretary in the Ministry of Finance. And he was chairing something known as India-Singapore Joint Working Group on Fintech. So he was very instrumental in getting all the domestic regulators, IFSC was not created at that time. He was very instrumental in getting SEBI, RBI, IRDAI and PFRDA on one table and make them work on fintech and institute the concept of regulatory sandbox, within the domestic jurisdiction. So in 2018, after Mr. Rajaraman gave us the go-ahead to work on this sandbox framework, we started meeting with the fintech entities, fintech startups in Bombay. So we were based in Bombay at that time, and SEBI headquarters, as you know, is in Bombay. So in 2018, to cut the whole story short, because we're short on time, in 2018 we were approached by an ex-investment banker. He had returned from UK, and he came to us, and Mr. Manoj Kumar was our CGM at that time. And he said, look, I have a plan. I want to tokenize gold, and I have developed a blockchain for it. So 2018, SEBI did not regulate bullion. We did not regulate physical gold. We regulated exchange-traded funds on gold, but we did not regulate physical gold. We also regulated a gold custodian by the name of Nova Scotia. It was registered with SEBI as a custodian, and he used to handle the gold which was bought by the ETFs. But we did not regulate spot trading of gold, bullion or precious metals at that time. So we said, okay, you come. So he came to us, meet us, and he came with a detailed presentation. And he said, look, I've developed a blockchain. I have gold bars, and I want to tokenize this into smaller fractions, and I want to issue it to the investors. It's a very good idea because physical bullion, is immovable, practically immovable in the sense, it's not very mobile. It sits in a vault because of its rate and its preciousness and its, all the underlying government rules around it. So we'll tokenize it on the blockchain. So tokenization, if you may recollect, it's in simple terms, it is dematerialization of the physical asset. So basically, whatever the physical asset that you have in the real world, you put it into the digital domain. So if you may recollect, in the 1990s, prior to computerization of our capital market, you had physical share certificates. So many of you must be aware that your parents, when they invested in shares of Tata Steel, Reliance, when Dhirubhai Ambani was at its peak in 1980, they used to issue physical share certificates. So these used to come in the form of letters, spurious letters to you, to shareholders, and these share certificates used to lie with you. So if you lose the share certificate, you lose the record of the shareholding. That's how it was. So then in the mid-90s, India went on a electronification mode. So we dematerialized all the securities and brought them into electronic form. Same way, tokenization is nothing but dematerializing the physical asset and bringing it into the digital domain. So that's what it was. So this investment banker said that, look, I have a plan. And he initially came to spend 20 minutes with us. He ended up spending 2 hours with us. And he had a very, very detailed plan. He was brilliant, and he knew the technical know-how. He knew the industry very well. Now the only problem was that since we did not regulate gold, physical gold, we had to say no to him. And it was with a very heavy heart because he was a very bright mind, very qualified person, deep work experience, but we had to say no to him. But he said, look, we'll take your phone number. In case tomorrow something happens, the government decides that we should handle gold, say we should handle gold, then we'll give you the permission, we'll call you back again. So he said, he also was very disappointed, but he said, okay, I'll be in touch. And this man was based in Dubai. 2020, COVID started, and I came with Mr. Manoj Kumar on deputation to IFSC. So Manoj Kumar came here as the ED. And at that time, the previous chairman of SEBI, Mr. Injyoti Srinivas, said, look, if India has to reach a $5 trillion economy, fintech sector is one of the major contributors, right? So we have to give a push to the fintech sector. And since we were setting IFSC from scratch, IFSC was created in 2020 itself. The act was passed in Parliament in 2019. 2020 began they started bringing in people from different government departments to set up this. So when I came, I was the 7th employee in IFSC. We didn't have our own building. And the gift house was kind enough to give us some space to sit and work. So we said, okay, fine. So in SEBI, we had already put in place the regulatory sandbox and innovation sandbox framework. So we ported that here, and in 2020, we issued our own circular. So at that time, because of COVID, nobody was coming here. This place was, you know what happened during the lockdown. There was restrictions on movement. Things, even IT equipment was not readily available. So Manoj sir called me and told me that, look, we had met that guy 2 years back. Why don't you call him and get this tokenization project underway in GIFT? So we called him and he said, yes, I'm ready to come. So he submitted his proposal. We gave him the authorization. He said, yes, please go ahead. Now problem happened is this, he was running on seed fund and he was based in Dubai and the expenses were mounting. He didn't have a customer, he didn't have revenues. And COVID took a toll on him. So in 2 to 3 months down the line, he had to wind up. And he politely called us and said, look, I can't continue. I can't set it up here. The costs are way too much. So please excuse, I'm sorry. So we had to let him go. Then in January 2021, we were approached by another entity who's sitting here on the screen. So the entity is called Terrazzo, and the CEO of that entity is Mr. Shan Zaveri. He's basically a builder. He develops real estate properties for Japanese clients here. The Japanese companies which set up plants here in Gujarat, car manufacturing plants or any other electronic manufacturing plants, they require specific residential accommodation, tailored to international standards. So Mr. Shan Zaveri and his company developed these residential and commercial properties for these international clients. So he came to us, and this again was during lockdown, January of 2021. So he came to us and he said, look, I want to tokenize real estate.